Well, morning folks. We're down on Cramond Island today. Get a few zones, make a vid. Although I tend to refer to it as Craggy Island, after Father Ted. That series of the priests in Ireland on this island. Father Dougal and Father Jack. So I've checked the tide tables carefully. Crossing times are okay between 7:30 and 12. So plenty of time to explore, look at the ruins, get the zones, make a wee video. And it should be quite quiet as well. On we go. Just coming up for the first zone here. Walking across the causeway. If you look at the turf up, it looks like I'm walking on water. I think if the tide was in, it would be about 2.5 metres of water.
Taking zone.
There we go, taking zone. That's while we're waiting, I'll show you the dragon's teeth. They go from the mainland right out to the island. It's actually a anti-surface boat barrier put up during the Second World War to stop surface craft sneaking round the landward side of the island. And not an anti-submarine barrier, as some people tend to suggest. The water's too shallow for submarines. Zone taken. The Island Pass, very fitting. No need to guess about the naming of that one. On to the next one. We were in Edinburgh the other day. I met Turfers, Wintergreen, CSL and Daffy Duck. Crawford mentioned that if you can't work out the naming of a zone sometimes, if you go into Google Street View and look at the 360 view, you might get a clue. So a zone or two I want to try that with. Quite wet on this causeway here. I'm splishing and splushing. Got my sandals on, not a good idea. Although they are river sandals, so if I take my socks off, it should be fine. Just try not to stand in the deep bits. Mentioned about Craggy Island. There's a scene, or an episode, where they seem to be trapped in the lingerie department of a store. I was in Marks and Spencer's on Princess Street that day we were in Edinburgh. And to get to the men's department on the second floor, you have to go through the first floor, which is, you've guessed it, the lingerie department. This poor man got to run the gauntlet of thousands of bras, millions of lacy things. Oh, I felt like Father Ted. You should do a wee Google, find the episode and watch it, it's good. I'm sure it'll be on YouTube somewhere. Well, we're about halfway across now. The chap just passed me there, got a big rucksack, heavy rucksack. I'm trying to decide if he's maybe a birder. It's a good bird watching spot actually. Coming up to another zone. All of these are still neutral actually. Nobody's been here this round, which is not far off finishing. I suppose it's maybe too much bother for too few points. But I'm not doing it for the points. I'm doing it for the for the filming, for the photography, for the challenge, for the adventure. Quite a nice light, bit overcast. You hear the gulls. Zone taken, water path, very fitting. We're on the island now, and rather than rushing around, taking the meagre zones that's on the island, I'm going to take some time and have a look around. Some of the World War II ruins. Try not to fall down any holes. So this looks like a gun emplacement. Just spin you around. Let's have a wee nosy inside. Find the door somewhere. It seems to be easier said than done. There we go. Here we go. You don't know what you're going to find in these places. Beer cans, debris, graffiti, remains of a tent. Grubby little place. I won't tell you what it smells like. I won't tell you what it smells like if you didn't hear that. It's rather pungent. Thank you. Nice view. Let's go and find another one. You can maybe hear those aircraft. We're just off the flight path to Edinburgh Airport. Well, today's trip wasn't my first on the list. I was going to go to Seacliff near North Berwick, take the fat bike and cycle down the coast on the sand to Tyningham, get the two zones there. But Mr. Aching Back has made another visit, so I'll be walking for a few days, which isn't too bad really, just different, although I suppose more time to see things, to look, you notice more. We've also got a new toy as well. Not my drone, not got that yet. It's a 3-in-1 selfie stick. Right, we're in the zone. Not that you would ever expect to be in the zone. Surrounded by rosebay, willow herb and bracken. Zone taken. So yes, my new toy. 3-way selfie stick thing. GoPro. Starts off as a grip. And you can fold it out with 2 arms to a sort of selfie stick. Quite manoeuvrable, it's quite good. And it's also got a tripod built in. Which means I don't need to fiddle about changing mounts if I want some off-camera shots. Off-camera? That's not right, is it? Doesn't matter. Just climbing up the hill now. There's a wee birds about, I don't know what they are. Could be a greenfinch actually. Just following the path here today. Oops. Try not to trip up, fall over, or get snagged by brambles. But the path's well trodden, so must go somewhere. I know that the ruins are mostly on the north side of the island, so that's where we're heading. Occupation of the island dates back to about the Bronze Age. Possibly has Roman occupation, but it was requisitioned in World War I, and a lot of that early occupation evidence was lost, and then in World War II it was pretty much obliterated. But it used to be farming, holiday cottages, would you believe? And there's also an anchorage point for an underwater net and barrier that used to stretch across the Forth in World War II to stop enemy shipping and submarines getting into the docks at Rosyth. So it'd be interesting to try and find that actually. Just found another building here. Don't know where the door is. It's probably around the obvious side. Yes, here we are. Here's the door. It's a big door, could be a garage. Definitely a store. Oil. Smell of oil. I think this was one of the engine rooms for the electricity generators during the war. It's that same kind of smell you get when you go to heritage railways or industry, Beamish, old collieries. We're standing on the roof here. Not quite sure what this building is, but that definitely looks like an emplacement for the 3-inch gun that I read about before I came out, so I would be knowledgeable. What a view, eh? What a view. That the smell of oil again. Another engine room. Gosh, 2 engine rooms. I suppose they would have had searchlights beside the gun batteries. They'd need electricity to power those. So. We're on the west side of the island now. Nice view of the bridges. I'm going to walk back along the beach. I found the anchor point for the net and barrier, but it's across some rocks. I'm not clambering over there. I think it's time for a Kit Kat actually, so I'm going to find a nice spot and settle down. This is definitely a birding paradise. Lots of LBJs about the place. Now, if you're not in the know of birdie speak, an LBJ is a little brown job. Especially when you've not got your binoculars, or you're just a beginner. You don't know what they are, so they get called little brown jobs in the book, as in unidentified bird. This looks like a nice spot. This building's quite interesting. It's all brick. I wonder if this is one of the houses. One of the holiday homes. The other buildings tend to be concrete, the war one, the military ones. Interesting, most of the bricks here are Nidries, made at the Nidri brickworks in Edinburgh. Although there's a few Roslin from out by, I think it's White Hill Brickworks did those ones. While I was sitting, I just spotted this Tupperware box hidden under some brickwork. I'm guessing it's a geocache. So let's have a wee look. Official geocache. If you find accident, please leave it, blah blah blah. Little notebook. Little trinkets, shells. Nothing very much, bit of paper. Not a very good one. Let's put this back as we found it. I presume the rocks are to stop the seagulls having a look. Well, I've got plenty of time, so let's just follow all these little paths and see what we find. I'm definitely going to have to check for ticks though when I get back. This long grass, perfect tick habitat. They'll be sitting out questing, as it's called, when they sit on the grass, waiting for the likes of you and I to come along and then suck our blood. Interesting, it's only the females that suck your blood. For need it to create the eggs they want to lay. Although I better not say any more about female, get into trouble. Here's another building. Stone built construction, so probably even earlier than that last one. Looks like just the one room. Just the one room, built against an outcrop. I wonder if it was a coast guard or watch point or something. Bit small to be a house. I think my shed's bigger. Anyway, off down the beach. Well, just crossing back over the causeway. Mission accomplished. Sun's breaking through, and I'm trying to keep me in the camera in shot. I'll stick with that angle, I think. You can see the dragon's teeth. Yeah, be careful where you're walking here. You need to keep an eye on your placing rather than staring at the camera. Watch where you place your feet. Well, that's me got 4 zones. So once I get back to the car, I'm going to wander up to the zone at the old Roman fort at Cramond. That'll give me my 5 for my 5 a day, daily 5, whatever. Although I suspect I will go out and get some more later on today. Well, back on the mainland, safely at home at last. I've not got caught by the tide. The sun is shining and it's getting very hot already. It's not even 9 o'clock yet. So I'm kind of glad to be out and about before the sun came out. And I've got the rest of the day to myself. Catherine's away walking with what's her name? Happy Hibby and Pennycook. Going to take some zones, of course. Oh, nice day. I'll just give you a quick 360. And that's us for the day. Back soon.